Howdy, folks. Welcome to Kelvin Vollrath's Fiddle Jubilee. My name is Walter Brennan, and I'm really delighted to be here with you today. Now sit back and enjoy some great music by Canada's fiddling sensation, Kelvin Vollrath, and his special guests as they gather virtually to entertain you. Now put your hands together and welcome Mr. Kelvin Vollrath. Take it away, Kelvin.
Walking the dog. And welcome to episode number 4 of my Fiddle Jubilee show. It's so much fun to do, to collaborate with all the other musicians, and I've got a couple of great guests on today's show. First, I just want to thank those that have sent donations, tips, the ticket price, whatever we call that. There are some of you that are doing that, and I really do appreciate it. I know we're getting up to 2,000 and 2,500 views on each episode, and I would like to see more of you chipping in if it's at all possible. But right now, thanks anyways. And that first tune that I played, it was called Walking the Dog. It's a tune that I wrote many, many years ago. And I'm not sure why I gave it that title. It kind of reminded me of maybe somebody walking down the road, walking their dog. And I know that this tune got played lots on CJWW radio out of Saskatoon on their Saturday night dance party. It was the #1 requested tune for many, many years, and maybe it's still getting played. We don't get that station here where I live, but whenever I played in Saskatchewan, people would request Walk on the Dog. So there you go. Love that tune, and thanks to my special friend that joined me on that. Thanks, buddy. Right on. Right now, I want to introduce my first guest, and this is a special, special lady I met many, many years ago. She was just a youngster. Well, I was a youngster myself. I was a teenager, I believe, And I think we met at Carrot River, Saskatchewan at the fiddle contest, and she might have been 8 or 9 years old, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, we knew that we were around greatness when we got to hear her play. Her name is Patti Kusturok. She comes from Winnipeg, and we've become close over the years. We're just kind of like brother and sister, and love her to pieces. And many time Canadian Grandmaster fiddle champion, and she's done it all. And she grew up playing for old time dances, and you can tell that in her music. And she's chosen a tune that I've written many years ago as well. A tune that I wrote for a fella from Montana. His name was Joe McKay, but his nickname was Jose McKay. He was a good friend of Fred and Jeannie Buckley that run the Montana Fiddle Camp. And Jose had passed away, and Fred asked if I'd write a tune for him. A happy tune. He loved the fiddle music. So here's a happy tune right here called Jose McKay. Everybody put your hands together for Patti Kusturok. Patti. Wow, that's so good. What a thrill. You know what? You're all over Facebook and YouTube, and you've done the 365 Days of Fiddle. You've done that 2 or 3 times, and you're so well known out there. You've really done so much through the pandemic and staying in touch with everybody. And thank you so much for being a part of my Fiddle Jubilee. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. And right now, I want to introduce guest number 2. And I met this fella. I was teaching at a fiddle camp out in New Brunswick, and before the fiddle camp started, we had a concert in Plaster Rock, New Brunswick. I think Plaster Rock, this is where they have the ice pond championships. Hockey pond, or whatever they call it, out on the pond playing hockey, and we see it on TV once in a while. But anyways, it's a hotbed of music out there. Helen Edgar was the one running the fiddle camp. She hired me to come out. There was a fella up on stage playing Roger Lanteigne. He played the button accordion, and my God, it was so good. And he was playing some Calvin tunes. Well, we've got together and played a few times on occasion at Ivan Hicks's place, And we played in Bathurst. He got up and played with us in Bathurst. And wonderful, wonderful man. And we're going to play a tune right now that he requested. I wrote this tune for a friend of mine in Quebec. He's a fiddle player, Maurice Biette. This is called the Maurice Biette Reel. Everybody put your hands together for Roger Lanteigne. Roger, wow, my goodness, you just fire. It just makes me want to dance, and I'm not a dancer. Plays so good, and you just love it. I wish you lived closer to me out here in the West. We'd be playing every darn day. Hey, right now we're going to slow it down, and I'm going to play a waltz. And I met a lady in, I believe it was 1988, was the first time I was a guest artist at the Miami, Manitoba Fiddle Contest. There was a lady there playing piano with almost everybody. Her name Yvette Carrier. Plays beautiful chords. A very, very, very nice piano player. And I've known her ever since all these years. But back in, I think maybe 1997 or 1998, I wrote her a waltz as a gift to commemorate her on her beautiful piano playing. This is called Yvette Carrier's Waltz.
Old Time Waltz.
thank you so much. I love the old time waltzes. You know, another Manitoba fella that I met, he was at the very, very first fiddle contest that I entered. I think it was May 10th, 1974. I was 13 years old. I was 1 week short of my 14th birthday. The CFCW Gold Fiddle Contest was happening at the Lakeview Pavilion at Cooking Lake, just outside of Edmonton. I went to this fiddle contest there. I didn't know anybody. My father, Art Lefty Vollrath, had a heart attack the week before, and we had planned to go to this fiddle contest. Never been to a fiddle contest before. Well, when Dad got sick, that was it. We weren't going. But I guess my dad told the family, my brothers and my mom and cousins, everybody, you get Calvin to that fiddle contest. I want him to go. And I was too young. I couldn't get in to see my dad into the hospital. He was in the intensive care. And so anyways, I didn't want to go without my dad, but they all said, no, Dad wants you to go. So they took me out there, and I'll tell you what, I was in the back room at this place amongst all these old fiddle players. I was the young guy. There was another young guy there by the name of Randy Jones, who's now the president of the Alberta Society of Fiddlers. And we were the two young ones. Everybody else was old. But there was one of those fiddle players was so nice to young Cal. His name was Mel Bedard. I'll tell you what, the other fiddle players, they really didn't seem to have anything to do with a young guy. But Mel, he come and sat beside me and talked and really he said, hey, you're looking a little nervous. Don't be nervous. Say, all is good. He really calmed me down. And you know what? I was friends with Mel right up until the day he died. It was a lifelong friendship, and he was a great, great player. He was the first fiddle player that put out an album that said Métis on it, Métis style fiddle. But he was into everything. He was into the old time and the Métis fiddle. He was into the Texas fiddle and everything. He just loved it all. And I wrote him a good reel back in, I think, maybe 2012, and called it the Mel Bedard Reel. And I'm going to get the great Patti Kusturok from Manitoba. Mel came from Selkirk, Manitoba. And Patti, she grew up with Mel. So I'm going to get Patti to play this tune with me, and we're going to get Patti to say a few words here first.
Big thank you to Calvin for having me on here and sharing some tunes with him. It's always a pleasure to play with Calvin. He is the best. That's all he is. He's the best. And it's always a pleasure to play, whether it's on a video or whether it's live at a show in a soft seat theater or at an old time dance or at a jam session, you name it. If Calvin's there, it's going to be fun. We first met in Carrot River, Saskatchewan around 1979. I was 8 years old, about to turn 9. And I remember everybody was talking about this hotshot kid that was coming there from Edmonton. And everybody was buzzing about this great fiddle player that was coming. He was 16, no, I guess he was about 18 at the time. Yeah, because he's 10 years older than me. So he showed up and he lived right up to that reputation that everybody had been talking about. And he came into the practice room. I was in the practice room and I was practicing and he was listening. And of course, when he was listening, I was getting kind of nervous. And my fiddle was a very unique looking fiddle at that time. It had a raised top and a raised bottom, kind of carved out, really pretty. And a lot of people really noticed it and would comment on it. And Calvin was no different. He asked if he could try it. I said, yeah, for sure, please. And he tried that fiddle. He played, I will never forget, the Jackrabbit Jump, or Saut du Lapin, the name of the tune. And in that tune, you have to pluck the string, with the E string with your finger. Well, if Calvin didn't go and break my E string, and I remember it was a gold stall E. It was one of those expensive ones. It was probably about $15 at that time, just for the one string, and that was a lot of money. So I put that string in my case, that broken string, and I carried it around probably for 10 years after that because Calvin broke that string. That's how honored I was. And through the years, we got to be very, very good friends. He's like a brother to me. I'm an only child, and he's always been that big brother that I look up to, and I go to for advice sometimes. And if I have really off-color jokes to tell, he's the guy to tell. And we just have a lot of fun. And I really miss being able to get together with him in person and play with him, but this is the next best thing. And I'm so honored to play these tunes with him, including one that he wrote for me, Patti Kusturok's Waltz. That is an honor that nothing will ever surpass that. So And I was fortunate to be at the care home where Mel was when Kelvin debuted this tune for Mel, especially because Kelvin was doing a show in Manitoba here and he wanted to go see Mel. And it was really, really special to be part of that. So I hope you enjoy the Mel Bedard Reel.
Right on, Patti. Thank you so much for the kind words and the wonderful play. So good. Back to my second guest, Mr. Roger Lanteigne. Love his playing so much. I remember I was doing a show at Ivan Hicks's house in Riverview, New Brunswick, I believe. Ivan he built himself a house here a few years ago, and in the basement it's a hall. And tour buses stop there, and they all get off the bus. They come down and they watch Ivan and Vivian put on a show, and Ivan opens up his house to others to come and put on a show. And I was doing a show there one night at his place, and Roger Lanteigne from Bathurst, he drove down, brought his accordion, and we played a tune there that I wrote many years ago called the Smokin' Bow Reel. I said, hey, and old Kimberley Holmes was playing piano. It was so much fun. I thought, this would be great if we could play this tune right here. So we're going to play the Smokin' Bow Reel. And first, Roger wants to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. It's a great honor for me to be playing on Calvin Vollrath Fiddle Jubilee. I first met Calvin in Kusturok, New Brunswick around 2009. We were both guests at the music festival, and what a privilege for me to be performing on stage with him. Another time I saw Calvin perform was in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I remember him playing a waltz, and the fiddler sitting next to me said, "Listen to him. You swear there are 3 fiddles playing at the same time? double and triple note, and it was true. Such incredible talent with precision and fluidity, complicated playing, looking so easy. I could say a lot more, but I will conclude with this. Calvin, you have all my respect and admiration, and I sincerely thank you for being so generous with your talent and for all you contribute to the music world. But most of all, thank you for the positive impact you have on my playing. The next piece is another great composition by Calvin. When I heard it for the first time, I immediately got hooked on the melody, and even if it was a challenging one, I knew I had to learn it. So it is with great pleasure that I joined Calvin and the very talented Kimberley Holmes on piano in bringing you the Smoking Bow Reel.
Kimberley Holmes, woo! Roger Lanteigne, yes!
Hey, Roger, wow, and Kimberley, thank you so much for joining us on that. That was a blast. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get together with you two and play some real live music in person once again. Big hand for Kimberley and Roger. Now we're going to go to a video from a long time ago. I believe the year was 2011. I guess it's not all that long ago, but Rhea, my good wife, and I, we went down to Nashville for a holiday. And I think it was 2011. We had met some bluegrass people here at the Bluegrass Festival, and they said, you should come down to Nashville for the IBMA Awards. And it happens in, I think it was, sometime in September. And it happened right at the Convention Center, downtown Nashville, right across the street from the Ryman Auditorium. And while the IBMA was going on, the Grand Master Fiddle Championships of the United States was going on in the same building. So this was a great holiday for old Cal. It was bluegrass music, and it was a fiddle contest, and we had an absolute great time. On the Monday night, we knew that we had to go out and see the Time Jumpers playing at 3rd and Lindsley. The Time Jumpers, well, that's Vince Gill and you know the rest of them are the 3 fiddle players, what a great band. These are all pretty much the first call studio players in Nashville, and they get together on Monday nights to play the music that they love, which is traditional country and western swing and whatever they like. And so away we went. We got down to this place, and we were sitting right in the front row. And I had a friend from Texas that was there that had seen me, and he was backstage. He knew the fiddle players in the band, and he was backstage with them, and he had mentioned my name, that I was out there. And I guess the steel player, Paul Franklin, he knew of me, as did the fiddle players. And they invited me to come backstage to meet them, which I was totally honored by that. And then Kenny Sears said, well, would you get up and play the fiddle? I said, oh my God, I don't have my fiddle here. I didn't bring my fiddle. I come to be wowed by you guys. And they said, oh, well, we'd love it if you come up and play. You can use my fiddle if you like. Well, I went, okay, maybe I will. I'll do my best. And they, what could we play? Do you play some swing? I said, oh yeah, I can play a little bit of swing music. And they said, Lady Be Good. And I could attempt Lady Be Good in the key of G. And so they said, okay, we'll call you up. And so I went back and watched the first set. And in the second set is when they invited me up. But old Cal was a little nervous, and I hadn't played for a couple of weeks. We had been down there in Nashville for a week and hadn't been playing. And anyways, I got up. What a thrill for me to play with the Time Jumpers on this old classic. I hope you enjoy this.
Calvin. Great, man. Hey, yeah. Well, we can all sleep better tonight knowing that swing is being preserved up north. Thanks to Calvin. That's awesome. That's Calvin Vollrath, ladies and gentlemen. Great playing right there. Canada, right? Canada, yes.
Wow, that was fun. And you know, Rhea recorded that on the iPhone. I believe that I'm recording my shows on. This was like 2011, and what was it? What was back in those days? An iPhone 5 or an iPhone 4 or something like that. We had just got that, and it was new for us. And she sat on her chair there in the table, held it with her hand. She held it so steady, and she got that, and it's got tons and tons of views on YouTube. And thank you, Rhea. What a great memory for me. And thank you to the Time Jumpers. Wow, what a treat. And you know, it was so much fun. I can remember when I was playing my first solo and I wanted everybody to take a solo in the band. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking so forward to saying, take one, Vince. And I did. Take one, Vince. Hey, I just want to mention here, I've mentioned it before, about how when the pandemic hit there in March of 2020, us musicians, well, we ran into a brick wall and we had to find a new way to make a living. And so I've been doing what I can to make my living in my studio, doing workshops and fiddle camps and trying to doing some concerts. And now I've come up with this TV show because I've learned video editing. I've had 2 CD release concerts here on video because we couldn't get out and play, and which kind of inspired me. Maybe I could be doing this old show, kind of like an old Don Messer show. Not that it's a Don Messer show, but you know, just trying to relive the Don Messer Jubilee was a big thing. And so this is another way for me to try to make a living on YouTube. And I don't charge a ticket fee. I don't have this on a website where you have to pay to get into it. It's free for everybody. But if you could find it in your heart, if you can afford it, to think that maybe you have just purchased a ticket to the show, and whatever that ticket is. And I want to say that, you know, we're getting 2,000 views in a month, maybe 2,500 views in a month on the past shows that we've done. And you know what? We have at the most 15 people buying a ticket. Or making a tip, whatever, which is not a whole lot, but I appreciate those that do. And I know that there's many out there that probably could and just don't, and there's some that can't afford it, and that's fine. I'm doing this for free. But if it's at all possible for you to send a tip and just think you're buying a ticket to the show, and it doesn't have to be $50 or $100, or if it is, that'd be great. If everybody sent $5, old Cal would be a happy guy. Tells me that you're enjoying the show, and this is what's going to keep me going. So I'm hoping, if you're enjoying the show, if you've got all the information on the screen there right now to send a little tip, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And thank you to all those that have done so in the past. Hey, well, we got time to do one more tune in today's episode. I hope you've all enjoyed it so far. What a blast. A big hand for Patti and Roger and Kimberley, please. For the last one, back in 1977, I entered a fiddle contest at Lake Eden, Alberta, which is about 20 minutes west of Edmonton. And I got there with my Uncle Floyd. My dad was working, but Uncle Floyd was there. He brought me along, and well, it was like everybody there was hippies. We hadn't really been around. Maybe, well, it was folky. I'm not sure. We'd never seen anything like it. And people were smoking funny smelling cigarettes. They were calling it electric lettuce. Anyways, I got up on stage to play in the fiddle contest. And I heard, as soon as I was done, somebody hollered a huge, huge voice, "Tamarack down, boy, Tamarack down." I thought, oh, I had never heard that before, but it kind of made me feel like I think that guy likes my playing. Well, when the contest was over and people were milling around, and this fella come up to me and shook my hand, it almost broke my hand off, and he wasn't a real big man, and he said, "Tamarack down, boy, hey, I like that." And I went, "Hey, that was you that hollered." He said, "Oh, geez, I love that." He said, "I love fiddle music. I originally come from Nova Scotia and live out here now." His name, Bernie MacLellan. Well, Bernie and I became friends that day, and still to this day, Bernie and I are friends. Bernie has a club in Edmonton now called the Fiddler's Roost. And then I say now, for the last 30 years, he's had the Fiddler's Roost. And my band, Country Swing, and I, we go play there the second Saturday of every month. And a great friendship we've had over the years. And anyways, well, I knew one day I would have to write Bernie a fiddle tune. And in the 1990s, I did. I wrote this tune for him called Tamarack Down. And I have a special guest appearance, a cameo appearance by Bernie himself. He's going to be playing the bones. So, right on. I hope you're going to enjoy this. And I just also want to let you know that we're going to take a little hiatus in July and August. We're going to be back with the next episode on September the 11th. It's usually the first Sunday of the month. In September, we're going to make it the second Sunday. The first Sunday there, that's the Labor Day long weekend, and nobody's around. Everybody's going to be doing this and that. And so, September 11th. Thank you so much, everybody. A big hand for Bernie. We'll see him shortly.
This is for you, Bernie.
By golly, folks, well, that was a great show, Calvin. Reminded me of the good old days right there. Hey, friends and neighbors, do us a favor and click on that subscribe button on Calvin's YouTube channel, and then you'll get notified when the next episode gets released. Because I know you ain't going to want to miss any. And don't forget to tell all your friends about the show. Well, that's it for now, folks. Until next month, take care, stay safe, and have a good day. See you at the next Calvin Vollrath Fiddle Jubilee. Yee Haw!